to Coffee and Chaos. I'm Alina, your host, and my lovely sister is back.
You said that trembling. And
Because I don't know if we're going to choke each other today or if we're going to hug.
I'm not going to let you guys do that.
And Trina. We brought Trina. Yay, Trina.
Hi.
My throat is, I don't know why.
I don't know, but I like that color. I really noticed it on her
What
toes.
color?
I don't know her toes. Yeah.
And, I love that color green.
Yeah, right? It looks pretty
Trina has her toes colored green. I love that color. Solomon, are you laughing at us women?
Always.
She said, I don't know if I like that
So
color.
do my
Okay,
job
let me fix this for you.
No, I said I like that color. I just noticed it.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought you
yeah.
said I don't like it.
I
I was like, I just noticed her toes right now. I like that color.
Yeah.
And then she hit him. I was like, okay.
No, I thought you said you didn't.
I thought you said that too.
Okay,
Nobody hears me right.
See, it's not just me, sis.
I hear you.
Let's go.
First, can I just complain about the heat that I'm sure everybody's heard and complained about? The only reason I'm complaining is it ruined my hair. I should have just put it in a ponytail like you.
As I'm wearing a sweatshirt.
And yeah, but that's because we're inside. And you even have your hair up.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Why do you always keep your hair down?
Yeah, her hair is beautiful.
for the most part.
Oh.
But today,
She's
I was like, this is it. This is what you get.
There you go. That's all you get, Alina.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. I think because I was inside, I didn't realize how hot it was outside.
It's all good. You look good all the time.
So thank you. All right, so you guys
I
ready?
disagree. But go ahead.
Girl, me and my rainbows look good every day.
Mm.
Yep, rainbows. The true definition, the original definition, I don't even want to say it's like, I'm not going to say, I'm just going to say, of being a single parent, whether you're a single mom or you're a single dad, how I grew up thinking what it was, what everybody around me thought it was. You would even hear it on TV shows, so it's not just the Pedro version, Solomon. But I think...
Are you bringing up this topic just to fight with me today?
Yeah. So I think that... No, because I did a little clip and I posted it, and everybody was like pretty much in agreement. But I think what's changed is there's so many more divorces. There's so many more two homes now.
Mhm.
So now the word single mom or single dad probably has turned into, I am single, I'm not married, I'm not, I'm divorced, or I even could be widowed, unfortunately, has turned into that. But originally when you heard like, oh, that's a single dad, or oh, that's a single mom, I always thought it meant that it was a person who was a sole provider financially and physically of the child.
Yeah, I don't know what Solomon or your little Stephanie, right? That's her name?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know what
Stephanie.
they're talking about. Single parent is a single parent. It's not, I'm single and I have kids. It means I'm raising kids by myself. So I don't know what they're talking about.
All right. Well, let's
What?
let's
Did
ask
you
that
have a
question.
Google version?
Yeah, he had a Google version.
Well, there's two things. Okay,
Okay.
so let's define that.
Okay.
So if let's say you were together, whatever, you broke up. Now you live at home with your child. Let's say the child visits the father every other weekend, or they live in another state or something. He goes to his house every summer and stays 2 months. Are you a single parent?
No.
No.
And that's where you guys are wrong.
But
Well,
why
that's
are we wrong?
Because you're raising the child. The child is
Okay,
in
this
your
is
house.
But let me
You're
ask
wrong.
you. So let me use my mom as an example.
But
Okay.
the other parents
So my
involved.
mom
Yeah, exactly.
my mom had us through September through the beginning of June.
Okay.
The Pinedas, which are my dad's side of the family, in that time, my aunts and uncles still saw us. We were still part of their lives. But from June, July, and August, we were shipped to Mexico and sent to Mexico. In those 3 months, my mom still got money for us kids when we weren't with her because we got Social Security every month.
Right.
So my mom got Social Security 12 months a year for my brother and I. She was not a single parent. My father's family was involved. My sister's father was highly involved in our lives. My mom had financial support. She was never a single parent.
Was she single? Were you living in the house with her and she was the
And
only
she was
adult?
married to somebody else, if you want to say that too then. She was also married to a man for like 20 years.
No, was she the only adult in the house with you? That's
No,
my question.
her husband was in the house.
Okay, well, in that case, no, she wasn't a single
Okay,
parent
well,
if there
like
was
a
another
single-
adult there.
Okay, look, a single parent regardless whether the father is living in the house or not. If he's supporting it, if he's taking care of his kids, if he's any part of that child's life, like how is she raising the child by herself? You must not know what by yourself means, because by yourself means by yourself. That means no help,
Right,
none.
but it doesn't mean single parent. That's my point.
So
But
you're just being a parent.
what?
You're just being a parent.
Okay, so if we were to be like really defined about this, like when the government looks at it as to like who gets what, single parent means the parent living in the household with the children the majority of the time. Like that's a single
More
parent.
than 50%.
So even if there is a father who sees him every other weekend, that mother is still a single parent.
No, I disagree. So now throw me in again.
Okay.
Marcus and I, let's just say till Seth was 11, didn't live together, right? I had Seth 80% of the time, sometimes 70% of the time. Marcus paid no child support until he was 12. And that's when he chose no longer to be in Seth's life. That's when I took him for child support. So up until 11, Marcus was a part of Seth's life. I wasn't a single parent. And Seth lived with me majority of the time. Marcus was still involved. I would still discuss things with Marcus. Marcus still had him every other weekend and like one day a week. I was not a single parent. And I was financially 90% of the time a single mom, meaning I 90% did all the financial stuff. Marcus would maybe buy a pair of cleats here or a glove there, but that's it. I did everything else. School supplies, everything and anything I've always done. But I wasn't a single parent until Seth was about 11 or 12 when Marcus chose to walk out of his life. But even then, he started to pay child support. So was I really a single parent still?
Solomon, you got a kid. You got a kid, right? You got another kid from another person, right?
Yeah, I have to.
Okay, the mother, is she a single mom?
Well, both of my kids are grown, so
Okay, but you weren't there all the way up until the kid was 18, or were you?
oh, the first one, she remarried sort of pretty quickly, so she was never like a single mom.
Okay, but again, when you guys broke up and you guys were in separate households, was she a single mom?
Yes.
Even though you gave child support and you were still there for your
Doesn't
child.
change the fact that she's a single mom, though.
So
It
are
just
you?
says that she's a single person.
So do you mean
as a-
single? Yeah, single as in marital status, or
Yeah,
just?
being a single, that is not a single mom. Like, it is not being a single.
There's
Single
a-
mom means exactly what it is. It means you have no help. If you have help from the other parent, everybody's different, but I think like fathers don't always need to be there 100%, but when they are there and like they bring meaning like to the child that helps that child,
Yeah.
then they're raising somewhat of the child.
All right. Well, let me ask you. Let's define it this. Let's say 364 days you got no help from the father. The father was nowhere to be seen. And once a year on Christmas, he came by. He gave you $5,000, and he bought the kid a ton of presents. Are you a single mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still a single
You're
mom.
still single mom
Because
365 days when that kid is sick, when that kid needs to go to school, when that kid needs clothes,
He
when
gave her $5,000
once a year.
once a year.
okay, let's
And
change it.
because
Let's
you
say
don't know what it means to that child.
That's true. That's true.
I don't
Because-
know. There's people that are in relationships, and I've been in a relationship, and I still felt like I was a single mom, taking care of my
I guess I
alone.
Yeah.
because
But that's mentally, emotionally, like
Yeah.
not physically. You know what I mean?
because
Like,
I know what a single mom is because I have no thought for my boys. There's no
Yeah.
dad. He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no check. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
There's no words. There's no like weekend. There's no go talk to your father.
Yeah.
There's no none of that. So that's single. That's single. When you're able to go talk to your dad, like, so my dad was emergency man. And there was like a gang of gaps where my dad was gone like a year at a time, 8 months at a time, came maybe for 3 days and gone again. But those 3 days, like they meant something. Like,
yep.
okay.
they do.
my father, like what he installed in me for those short period of time through my life meant everything to me. Like, and eventually my dad stopped shipping out. I went with my dad.
So during that time when he was gone, did that make your mom a single mom? Like, were they together?
I don't
No, because she
I don't
always
they,
had financial help from him.
yeah,
He's
so
always made
she was
sure.
never a single mom. I don't, like I said, because I had my dad.
Okay.
So like when my dad was gone, I gave Pat Hal because my dad wasn't there. Like so that's what I'm saying. Even fathers that are not there, like 100%, like if there's meaning to that child, like that
Mhm.
they like are learning from that child, like
Yeah.
then that sometimes that's enough.
Yeah.
I know it from my own
Well,
experience.
you took it as enough and you embraced it
Oh
as
yeah,
that's
because
your.
my dad's the only, like I don't have Pat in my life. I have
Yeah.
my dad to this day in
Yeah.
my life. Like so every time he came, it meant something. Like
Yeah.
he brought something. It built my character, who I am as a person. Like I took on most of my dad's traits, none of Pat's. Like garbage, throw that away. Like and picked up everything that he had to bring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wasn't there all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to bring up a definition again.
Well,
But
we could bring it
yeah,
up all day long, but
I know definitions
Well, I'm just,
have
but
changed.
see, that's
like
what I'm
Yeah.
all
saying.
kinds of words.
yeah, that's.
wife.
But if
But-
you looked at a single parent probably 15 years ago, that definition probably wasn't even in there.
Yep.
So,
sure wasn't,
and
'cause
it,
they
not to
change
be
words all
mean,
the
but
time.
that's who writes that definition. I don't think a
So-
brown person does, or a
so
person who
bef-
is a single parent.
So
I think it's
Well,
some straight Caucasian
well, let's
person
go-
who
let's-
wrote it and is
let's
trying to
look at
be all
that then.
politically correct.
Yeah.
Let's look at that then.
So before I married my husband, right?
Yeah.
I was single.
Yeah.
So I was a single mom.
With Selena, yeah, you were
Well,
raised.
no, with all my kids.
Were you getting child support?
No.
So yes, you were very much a single mom. So
I
now,
guess it's because I just never singled myself out, and not that you were singling
Yeah.
yourself out and said like I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't need a pat on the back. We just
No.
you just do
Yeah.
whatever you're supposed
Yeah.
to do. So if you're a single mom, you're a single mom. Whatever, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are my kids. Like,
Well, and I challenge that you guys would do that anyway. Whether you were getting child support or not, you would do what you have to do. You would be the
always
person.
we did.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
be the person who wakes them up in the night, or like if takes care of them, they're sick at night, all of that, whether you were getting child support or not. And I would venture that if you ask mothers who live alone with their children and do get child support or their dads have visitation, I would bet you most of them say yes. I feel like a single mom.
Oh, for sure.
Like especially nowadays, because the way women are like, oh my god.
yeah, there's some weakness.
But I'm
to
talking
that.
about
Yeah.
women from our day,
From our
Yeah,
generation.
yeah,
from our generation, who would not necessarily say that. These women these days, I mean, you got to give them a tissue for everything.
Yeah, because you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, like I've even mentioned it to you before, like I feel like even getting into a relationship with a man who's has a foundation and stability and wants to Beyonce me, like
The whole Beyonce thing.
right. I've gotten opinions from
I'll tell you.
people. Maybe they didn't mean it in a mean way, but I took it like what? Like we're like, oh well, you have that help or you have that person that. But I was still a single mom.
But the struggle you
I didn't
got
go
till
and
you.
pick someone and say like, you're gonna help me.
Yeah.
And then I won't be a single mom anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a bonus. It's something that came with him. That's how he was, or that's how he, his character was, or his.
And he
you know.
probably
But it
loved
takes
you.
two people too, because what I just told Solomon, like
Yeah.
I have a daughter, like, and the dad doesn't need to know about my sons at all. It's none of and even though my situation is different because he's gone or whatever, but like even when he was like, those are my sons,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
none of your fucking business.
yeah.
Like you don't need to like anything.
You don't
And
need a father.
I've
then,
I've
maybe.
stuck it like through that, like no matter what, those are my sons.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's business. I don't need nobody's help. You don't have no opinion. So it's like both of you guys did it. Like
Yeah,
him
yeah.
for
Yeah.
being a good man,
Yeah.
and you like knowing he was a good man, obviously,
yeah.
because I don't think you would do that like because you have daughters, right?
I
So
have all
like
daughters. Yeah.
okay, so that's scary. I think that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
But they
Like,
were
you know what I
older.
mean?
How
Like-
old were they when you and Michael lived together? Selena was the youngest, right?
Yeah. Selena they just graduated from South Shores,
Okay, from
so they're
elementary
from
school.
5th grade.
So that's fucking.
And my
scary.
older two were
Yeah.
in high school already, or Shayna graduated in 09.
But I think that he also fell in love with you so the person that made the comment to you like, oh well, you have help now. Like
That's
Mike,
Like I'm a single
yeah.
mom, and I'm like,
But
we're
I
all
think
single,
but I
we're all
think
single moms.
he fell in love with you because
My
he
picker was
saw
working.
You're a good woman. He saw that you're hardworking. He saw that you're a go-getter, that you're not a weak woman, right? So he wanted to add that to his table. Like, okay, I have this, but I need someone to kind of run it. I've told you how much I respect your guys' marriage for that.
Yeah.
Like he had the house, he had this, but who's going to run it, who's going to do everything, right?
Yeah.
And then he found this woman who was hardworking. She's driven. She, we
But
do
like I
this,
said, it
this, and
took
this.
both of them because
Yes.
even now, if I was to, I have a daughter,
Yeah, yeah.
and it'll be the same thing. Get the fuck away from my daughter. You don't need to know my daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very like, you don't need to, like, whatever, like, you don't need to know my kids. They're none of your business. I don't need your money. I don't need your time. I don't need you to act like anything. You don't need to nothing. These are mine. I take
Yeah.
care of mine, and like, get
Yeah.
away from her. Like my
You're protecting her.
yeah, like I don't-
There's a movie.
So it's on both people. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
No, it is. And for them, I always say that that's what I respect out of theirs is they both brought something to the table. And yeah, she's no longer a single mom, but that house doesn't also run without her. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
you've come in it and you've
I think it's no matter a situation for anybody. Like I went back and forth because I was like, hell, it was kind of like a, am I worthy of this type of thing? Like, do I need to do more? Whether it's financially or whatever the case may be. But then just for someone to be like, you're good.
yeah.
Then I'm like, yeah, I am good. I am.
And he even came to you and said, like, I don't want you to be a single mom. I need you to be home so you could be home with your daughter as she's going through junior high and high school.
Yeah.
Which a
Oh,
lot
yeah?
of, yes.
Well, actually, our first conversation
That's
was
tough.
it was
is.
our first conversation of meeting again after 6 years. We were at a bar,
Okay.
and he said,
She used to
Don't
bartend with
you-
Auntie Doll.
"Don't you want
Oh, wow,
to?
really?
Don't you want to be in a relationship with someone who, your money is your money, and they can take care of you and help take care of your, the girls?" And I was like,
What do you want?
like I never thought about it like that because you're always in go mode, right? Like we grew
Survival
up in an
mode.
era where you're like, you do whatever you got to do, take care of your kids. It doesn't matter if someone wants to be in the picture.
You
No.
don't feel like you have choices.
Yeah. And
You
so then
just
when
do.
someone comes and says like, let me take care of you, I'm like,
Why?
it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. But then
And now Trina's, how long has it been? How many years?
at 15,
Now she's like, what? What? Let me just go here. Let me just go do this.
I'm like, I'm your queen and you're my king. What
But
are we
you
doing?
also, we talked about this the other day. With that, you blessed him with your whole family. I felt like he was missing that.
Yeah,
right?
we all like,
And
they have no kids or nothing.
he does,
Yeah.
but they're older and they're boys, right? But now she comes with all these girls, and then her parents are a huge part of her life. And Samoans, they're Mexicans. They're always together. They're always cooking. So he's like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then she brought a brother, and now they're like they're brothers now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So she brought all this to him, and he was like, now he sits at the high end of the table, like, 'cause she's,
Yeah, no, it's a good.
But I was going to say earlier, there's a movie, and this is a prime example. Coach Carter. I know everybody's watched it.
Who stars that?
What's his name? The black bald guy.
Yes, I was going to not say that, but is it Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. It's a basketball movie. And the entire movie, he talks about single parents and these boys that have no fathers. The whole movie is about like these single parents and all the stuff that these women have to go through. And at one point, one of the kids quits basketball, and it's my favorite part. And because he has an attitude and he quits. Well, here comes the mom dragging this like 6'7" kid in. She's like the short black lady
Mhm.
to Samuel L. Jackson. And she's like, asking him like to come back, and they're arguing back and forth. And she says, like, I'm a single parent. It's just me. Like, he has nobody. Like, I've already lost a kid. I'm not losing this one too. And as they're walking out, she tells the kid and grabs him and says, you make decisions like you pay rent around here. And that is like my famous saying. But that whole movie is based off what a true single parent
Yeah, I don't
is.
think just because you're single.
As life has gone on and as the world has become softer, a lot of men and women do like to cry and use that term as, oh, I'm a single mom. And for me personally, no, if the parent is involved in the other kid's life every other weekend and on a weekday, or you get any kind of financial status, you may be single, meaning you don't have a boyfriend or a husband.
Yeah.
But you're not a single
Yeah.
parent.
Your marital status is you're single.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because you're single as a person doesn't mean like. I think I think I would be offended because that's not, you're getting help. Try no help.
Yeah.
Try absolutely
All right,
no
so
help.
then why don't we just redefine that then? Because single parent
We're not
technically
redefining
means
anything. We're just
But I think it's
But-
already been defined.
no. Single parent means that you live alone with your kids. It doesn't if you have help from the other parent, it doesn't disqualify.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Because I think
Do you
I
think
think
It's where you
single
live.
moms-
You think it's where how you were raised and where you live? Because
Everything is.
I don't think
anything
so.
pertains to
I
that.
think it is because I think maybe we were around more single parents, more single women, even single
If
dads.
I was Solomon, I would be offended if I were you and your first baby mom or
Yes.
wife, I don't know.
Yeah.
And she said that she was a single mom and you're contributing help and seeing the kid. I would find that offensive.
Well,
if I
okay,
was
so
you.
let's look at it a different way.
Oh, let's
look at it a
look
different
at it my way, huh?
Okay. No.
Sorry,
And
you're right.
I hear what you're saying, but
I
listen
know
to-
you do, but go ahead.
Here's what I'm talking about. If you have a mother, and you can ask any mother who has their children,
Okay.
and they pay child, the husband pays child support, and he sees the kids every other weekend. You ask them if they're happy, and you ask them if they don't consider themselves single parents. And here's why: because here's the common things you always hear. Oh, the kids get to go over there and he gets to be Mr. Fun Dad. Well, I got to come up and I got to do all the discipline and everything else. His child support doesn't even pay for all of this, blah, 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 blah,
I
blah.
watch a lot of
And so
TV.
I have
Yeah,
to
because
cover
I
all
didn't
of
feel
this.
like that at all.
Yeah,
But this
that's
is-
how I was with Seth.
But this is what
Look,
But
this is
I'm
what
in
most of
reality.
them say.
You're
And
giving-
most of
you're-
them
Wait, let her finish.
no.
the boo-boo.
And
Let
most
her
of
finish
them
the boo-boo.
feel like they're single parents because they feel like
Because they
just
wanna
because
feel
you got
boo-hoo.
4 days
Yeah.
a month. And that's what I'm saying. Why don't we
But you're
re-qualify
supposed to
it,
be a
though?
mom. You don't get a cookie for doing
It doesn't
the job
matter if you're
supposed
with
to do.
somebody or you're not with somebody or someone's helping you or
And-
not. You're still
And
you
we
still
all
have
agree.
to be the parent.
We all agree.
No, Seth
I
went
don't
with,
think
I'm
we
telling
all
you, we don't agree with you at all. Seth went with Marcus one night a week, maybe sometimes 2 nights a week. I'll give him that. And every other weekend. And never, ever once in that time that Seth was with me did I feel boo-hoo me. I felt like, okay, you're with Dad those 2 nights. I'm either going to go do my thing or I'm going to go out. You're going, Dad, next weekend. I'm either going to go out or I'm going to go to work. Like that was my time for me. And during the week, this is what we're doing. Sissy has practice. You have this. You have this. Never once did I say, oh, it's so hard. Your dad's
Yeah,
not here.
you're-
Absolutely the fuck not.
Well, no,
Excuse my
that's
language,
not
but
what
no,
I said though.
never.
That's not what it wasn't.
And I
your
don't
dad's
get
not.
I don't
Sound
get
like you
credit
said.
for being a mom. I'm
wasn't-
supposed to be a mom.
I didn't say because your dad's not here. I said they complain that it's not enough.
They
and that-
complain. That's the word. You
Yeah.
will
Well,
never complain
that's
about
my
your kid.
point.
You're right in a sense. That's why we said earlier there are people that are weak. They're weak. They don't
Yes.
take the role to the extent of like this is what you need. This is how we were raised. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's in your blood. That's it. You have children. You pushed them out. Like I got to learn how to do this, and the other, whether I'm with somebody or not.
So, and I'm going to
Okay.
tell you the other day, hold on, sis, because that irks me.
Of course.
The other day, Seth drove home from South Dakota, drove home with his friends in 2 days from South Dakota.
Mhm.
He was home for a week and a half. Him and I. And not that I did or didn't want to do it, not that I wanted credit or didn't want credit, but him and I got in a car and drove to Idaho in 2 days for another thing of baseball.
Mhm.
His dad didn't give me money. His dad didn't ask if we needed a ride. His dad didn't, but never once did we talk about, oh, boo-hoo. It's just what needs to be done. I got to get set to Idaho.
Okay,
He has to
you're
be here by a certain
triggered.
day.
Hold on.
Yeah, he totally triggered
Hold on,
me.
you're triggered. Hold on, sis.
Trigger,
He was
trigger,
just saying-
trigger, mama. Do
As
something
much
triggered
as I'm
over
not
there.
trying to defend Solomon at all.
Yeah.
He was just saying that there are those type of women
Mhm.
that if they sit back and they think that this is how they feel,
Yeah.
and I'll put it
And
a
they
little bit,
feel like single parents.
and they feel and like, but I think there's a lot of women. So I'm not against women, but I'm not a fan of women.
Weak women.
Certain women.
Hold
Okay,
on,
and let's not use the word
just-
weak. I don't think it's about being weak.
Can I?
It is
finish?
about being
is.
weak.
It's not about being weak.
All right, let me finish. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I'm not a
Weak ass.
because I feel like there's women can be very, very strong. And I hate that they play the softer role
Mhm.
or that they don't take more responsibility of their role
Mhm.
because we are meant to be strong. We are
Mhm.
fucking really strong ass fucking people. Like we really are.
That's why
But-
we're chosen to have.
But
Birth
a
children.
lot of women will, for whatever reason, get stuck in their emotions or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know why
They
it's
get
like
stuck
that.
on men.
And that's what makes me upset at women because I'm more mad at why don't you see your strength? You're
Yes.
looking at men and you're putting them down, or you're looking at what little that they do, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And instead of like be strong yourself, or like, hey, that's the man you picked. So instead of, and I get it, hey, I'm not a fucking winner at picking out no guy, but you know what it is?
None of
what
us
it-
are.
Yeah, but it is what it is. So let me take my strengths because I'm fucking strong,
Mhm.
and instead of sitting around and looking at my weaknesses or feeling weak or feeling like build it up. Like
yeah.
you're a woman. That's what you are. Like you're strong. Like if that man irritates you, then stop concentrating on him.
Yeah.
Concentrate on you.
Yep.
Be stronger at you.
Yeah.
Build what you want stronger in your children.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I hope my daughter is never a single mom, but I would correct her the same way as if things did not work out with whoever her husband would be, and then but he's still participating, like because he is. Like I would be really mad, especially with my daughter, because I'm not with my daughter's dad. He's in Mexico. But if I need to pick up that phone and say your fucking daughter like needs to go over there, I will give him that much.
Yeah.
And it's happened. It's happened. Boom. I'm not a he doesn't give me no money. He lives in Mexico. What is he getting? Pesos? What do I need for those? Like there's nothing. No,
Hey, leave my Mexicans alone.
Like there's
I got
nothing.
pesos.
There's nothing like.
Yeah.
But do I feel like a single mom when it comes to my daughter?
Yeah, yeah.
No, because you know what? You're gonna help me. You're gonna correct this little girl. You're gonna do what you can, and I'm not gonna knock down that you don't have the money to. No, because you're giving her the stability of herself as a woman. Like making her secure within herself. So
Yeah.
like I don't even feel like a single mom when it comes, and I 365 days a year, like whatever, like I have my daughter, I pay for my daughter, everything, my daughter. But when this little girl, because she's whatever, I can sit there and say, hey,
We had a
and-
whole talk about that.
and he will like take her for the summer,
Yeah.
like, and hey, deal with her. So I don't feel like a single mom at all when it comes
Yeah.
to that. And so I could compare the two with a single,
Right.
like a single person,
Right.
because I get no checks. I didn't get no disability checks, no nothing for my boys. No, like there's nobody to pick you up.
But it's also from your experiences, right?
Yeah.
From your experience,
Yeah.
like you mentioned about your upbringing,
I
like
agree.
with your
It's
dad.
based on your experience.
So then
Right.
with your daughter, that's how you feel. Like she's with you 365 days of the year. But when you pick up the phone,
Yeah.
he's there and he's going to be there for your daughter, just like your dad was there
Yeah,
for
so
you.
I don't feel like I'm a single mother,
Right.
Because you are doing something. You do something
You
for
can
her.
rely on him.
Yeah, you do something for her. Like you may not do all, and I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I have to pay. What?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Well, and you're also making it, from what I'm hearing, is what a lot of people should make it, is it's not always about the money.
Yo, yeah,
Right?
No, it's
Your
never.
daughter
I really-
needs the mental and emotional
girls-
part that's going to
girls
come from
need
her
that,
dad.
like, cause she needs that, cause she's So
I told you
needs all
today, she's with my sister's dad. My dad walked in the house with her today. And you remember the issue. I said I had an issue with Gia, and he was like, leave her alone. Gia can do no wrong. And Gia walks around like, my grandpa's here, I can do no wrong. But Gia needs that because we're always on.
that. Oh yeah,
Seth's on her,
Right.
Loran's on her, Michael, BJ, my sister. So he's her advocate, right?
Right.
But since I was little, I did not know the difference between, okay, David's my dad and Frank's my dad. I had no idea. I just thought I had two dads, right? As I got older, I was like, oh, you're Angel's dad. You're not, because he never made me feel like I wasn't. If anything, he treated me better than her half the time.
But you
He
guys
does. He
experienced
still does.
the
'Cause
mental.
I'm
you
sweet
guys
and
experienced
rainbows.
the mental and emotional aspect of like being present.
Yes.
Not the financial. You weren't thinking like, oh, Frank or David, they're not there for us financially. We don't have money. We're not getting money from them. You weren't thinking of that.
So
Whereas some
Marcus-
people are like, they don't help me financially.
That's why Marcus never paid child support, because I never wanted, because he was around. Once he chose, again, that's a choice.
Yeah.
Stop to participate in my son's life. Now you're going to pay child support and I even didn't want to take him, but somebody at work said, you work more and take time away from your son because you're so stubborn. Like, I don't need his money. I don't want him. But that extra time and that little bit of money he gives you
It's for him.
is for him. And I was like, oh my God, you're
Yeah,
so
but
right.
I'm different than my sister, because to me, if you're not gonna give me anything, I don't want it.
I
If you're not
I was
gonna
the
give
same
it to me,
way.
I
Well,
want
and
it,
if
like-
Seth didn't play baseball and it wasn't so expensive, I probably wouldn't have. But believe it
No,
or
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that's
That
where, like, if
money-
you ain't giving it
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
I don't want it.
I'm not
If
gonna
I
beg
have
you.
to ask
Yeah.
you for anything, I don't want
Well,
it.
I didn't beg him.
because-
I just went on Los Angeles child support. child services.
But I'm just saying, like you got because you need to be present. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna.
That was more important.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I mean. Like that's like my dad. He did for me financially. My dad does like my sister. It's crazy because I just said that. I said it today. I think I was like my sister. I think my sister was my dad's first daughter, even though I'm his daughter.
Yeah.
Like right, like that. Like so. Then when I came around, like I'm obviously not like her, right? So
There can't be two Alinas and two
so
angels.
like, so even now, like right now, my dad's the happy. Like my dad, he comes to my house, like he's over here on some bullshit. Like, oh, I have to cut my hours because it's hot. No bullshit. You're going to my sister's house. Like I know what he's doing. You know what I mean? But I don't care. Whatever makes my dad happy.
Mhm.
Like if she makes you happy because she's fucking rainbows, then go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because he likes that about her. Like he likes all the like. Oh,
He gets the best of both worlds.
you. Know
He
what I
does.
mean?
He
Like
gets
you don't
the
get
best
that
from me.
from.
No,
I mean,
but
I don't
he
have none of
gets
that,
the
anyway.
toughness from you.
He needs
and
to
he's
get what he
tough.
gets from you.
Yes.
Just like whatever you get from him,
Yeah.
same with her. He gets what he gets from her. Like you guys all like you make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
But none of it was about financially being there for you guys.
Well, my
Oh,
dad
no.
did pay.
Yeah.
Well,
My
and
dad
I just
did
told
pay.
her this the other day.
That made him pay.
I never understood why.
That made him pay her.
No, yeah, and he would sneak me money, and that bitch would take. Oh, she would take.
Please
money out
do
of my
not
pocket.
use that word.
Okay, well, it's
We're gonna have to edit that.
It's fact.
So I told her
She
the
was
other
buying me. I was
day.
gonna hide money, and then she would still find it.
You
I
used to hide
never
it.
understood how he would show up right before school started, and he would take me and my brother David, and sometimes Justin. Now Justin came after him, so they shouldn't have even been.
And
That are
my-
not even
And my
biologically.
little brother calls him dad.
Yes.
That's how good my dad.
That-
my dad
that
is the
tells
shit.
you-
Yes.
My dad's a shit.
Right.
I'm
So,
telling you.
but my point is, he would
Gia's
take
smart.
us to
Gia's
get.
smart.
He would take us to get school supplies. When prom came and we had to pay for the limo, he would be like, his famous thing was just tell him how much the damage is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care what it's for. Just
Yeah.
I would go to him. I need this and I need that, and he would
Because
say,
he
okay.
came through for you.
Yes, and so financially, did he always support? Yes, but I think we didn't realize at that time what he was doing. Now, as adults, we appreciate it and we understand it.
Mhm.
But he just wanted to be around us. He just wanted to be. I'll never forget. Like Loran was like 11 or 12, and I was about to whoop her ass for a reason she deserved to get her ass whooped. And I hit her once with the belt, and he happened to show up and he heard me.
Oh, yeah.
And he was trying to break into the house so fast. I was like, fuck. Like I wanted to hit her one more time because she needed it.
You can't hit.
But you cannot hit. He does not believe in hitting. Like he's a soft parent in that sense.
He's a very soft parent.
So
My dad
Loran only
never-
got
he got
hit.
older.
Yeah, she only got one on the ass whooping, and then I had to stop. And then she got to get in the shower, and I got chewed out to the point where like I was crying because he was mad. Like I never hit you. I was like, yeah, but she needs it. Like she did this and this and this, and he was like, no,
But
absolutely
he's
not.
trying to prove a point. Like you guys came out just fine, right? And
Did
he
we?
didn't spank you. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah. I'm sorry. All I see is rainbows and sunflowers. I'm sorry.
We're sitting here about to go off on
No,
Solomon.
my dad is just because my dad got beat when he was little.
So he doesn't believe in
he
hitting.
don't believe in hitting at all. He
But-
believes in talking, which I think really fucks you up mentally because I'm fucked like bad, like because of like the talking. Because I don't even to this day, as grown as I am, I don't like when he's upset with me just a little bit. Like I don't like.
Well, that's because that's who you look. That's your like. That's who
he's
you're.
everything to I
Yeah.
think my dad. Like so, my dad. If Pat was to say she was a single mom, that would offend my dad because
Yeah.
it'd be like I'm here, even though like I said he was a merchant seaman,
Yeah.
so he would be gone.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't Solomon. I would be I would be like I would be mad if I was a father, and I did support like either if I had him every once in a while, or I gave money, or I was something in that child's life, like I meant something in that child's life, and you say you're a fucking single mom.
See, and the way I see it, I would be offended if they said that guy doesn't do shit for his kids. See, I would be offended by that token. But again,
But
I
that-
just,
But that's
Boy, that's a whole.
I
different
just,
thing.
no.
Oh,
'cause
so
that's
you
what
don't
you're
care
saying.
if your ex would have said, "I'm a single mom,"
No,
or
she is. a
but
single
you would
mom.
care if she said that you didn't help.
Of course, if I
Okay.
helped and she said he doesn't do anything, of course.
Boy,
Okay.
And I wanted to give you guys this really quick, and I haven't really told anyone this before.
ooh.
My younger sister, she has 5 children by 4 different fathers.
That's right.
right. She's been married. I think 3. She was married to 3 of them. I think maybe
That's
all
good.
of them.
Don't tell Tom.
So,
Yeah.
she got child support from all of them. All right.
Wow.
That's even
And
better.
so, but the thing is, if you talk to her, she's like, these are my kids. I raised these kids just because they went on vacation with you and did this thing and you sent your money. I'm the one who's been here with them all the time.
Mhm.
I'm the one who cleans their boo-boos and talks when they get dumped by their boyfriends or girlfriends or helps put their fill out your college applications, all this stuff. And I ask you to do things to help me support them. She definitely considers herself the queen of single mothers because I think it's more to do with the day-to-day thing of who's the parent that's there 99% of the
I think
time
it's the
helping the
woman's
kids through
perspective.
everything.
I think it is.
Right
Their
there.
experience, like
Because
what did
she-
she go
Her
through?
perspective.
She got-
That's my point.
She wants to feel like, but
But
at
she
the end
got
of the day,
financial support.
Yeah, she's
that
getting paid.
doesn't matter.
Oh, it
because
does because
Yeah,
No,
again,
to her.
If you
No,
didn't
no,
get
no.
Her,
that
it
check,
doesn't.
if you didn't get
you'd
that
have to
check,
work twice as hard.
I guarantee you your situation would be different if you
Yes.
didn't get that check.
Okay, look. Well, here's what I'm saying. It's how she feels like she's the only parent doing all this stuff.
She's
And just
physically
like,
there.
just like you guys.
But
So
then
this
you
is
ask,
what-
why do you have 5
But
kids
no,
then?
let's go back to
She's
what I'm
married.
saying about redefining it.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
single parenthood involves all of this, but there's a second level of single parenthood in which there is no support, and I'm perfectly. That's perfectly understandable, but that's not to say that single women who raise children by themselves and get a check or whatever, you can't just automatically assume their life is a lot easier. Maybe it's
Nobody
not.
said it was easier.
Okay, well then how can
Nobody-
you?
I
say-
think it
how
adds to
can
it
you-
if you get money.
hold
But
on.
how can
No,
you
raising
disqualify them
children
from being a single mom then?
Raising children alone is not easier, period.
Okay,
But best
so
believe
alone
when
money
you don't
wise,
have financial support,
Yes. It
when the
helps.
money is not, yes, like
It helps.
It
Yeah.
definitely does because it helps. Like regardless, like if you don't see the check, like it does go on the rent, it does go on the gas, it does put food on that kid's thing. And I'm not saying like it does it all, especially now it's hard, but it get no check. Let's see how you feeling now.
That money that I got for Seth, let me tell you, I have a good job, a very well-paying job, and that's all I'm going to say. However, I had 2 kids. Loran was in college. Seth's in sports. Loran's in sports. I'm working. I have, like you said, I have rentals. If I didn't get that check from Marcus, that all went to baseball. Seth probably wouldn't have been able to play travel ball as long as he liked, or I would have been working night and day.
And did
Like
that?
it gave us a better life because it did help us.
I get that. And did that money though change how you took care of your kid day to day?
No, but the day I had my
I
kid,
mean-
I was going to be a mom no matter what, whether he was here or not. That's him
my
being
point.
here or him giving money isn't going to change. And I'm not going to go like, oh, I'm, a single mom because no, I'm just a mom. Like I have to raise my kid. I have to take care of him. I have to do everything. You got to do what you got to do when you have a child. There.
Right. And you would have done that regardless, just like my sister did it regardless of whether she had the money or not. But it doesn't change. The money doesn't change how you care about your kids day to day. It's not like you go, well, I got this check. So, you
but
got a
it does-
fever,
it
just
does
stay in
help
bed
how
by
your
yourself.
child, what he wears,
The
what
food that he eats,
what
if you have
di- what
extra.
Yeah, but
what
you guys
dish-
are
what
arguing
dish-
both
what
sides of the
district-
same argument because now you're saying, well, I would do what I have to do whether I had the money or not. So, I mean,
No, because you said that your sister, which no disrespect to her at all, because it's amazing because you've told me about your sister and how well her kids are doing and what
Yeah.
all the great things that they're doing. And that's awesome. However, I don't know if I would necessarily call her a single mom because she did get financial help. The dads were in their life. Just because they weren't in the lives the way you wanted them to participate, they were still in their lives.
so she was a single mom with financial assistance from the fathers. You were a single mom at some point.
I wasn't a
without.
single mom. though.
Okay, well, the law qualifies you as a single mom. So this is all I'm saying. You
The
were a single
law?
mom who didn't get financial help
This is
from
not in the
whomever.
dictionary.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's just because I honestly never looked at even the title of
Look,
single
you gotta put
parent,
it up again,
single
you didn't know how
mom.
to fucking read it.
I never,
No, this
I,
is a different one.
I never looked at it or try to define it until we were discussing it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I started to look at my own situation and think like, was it? Well, I mean, even when I was in a relationship, I did feel like I was like a single parent because I was the one taking care of them, right?
Right.
But a lot of women, they'll kind of feel like that because the dad is the provider.
Yeah, there's people that are married that feel
Yeah,
that
but
way.
At the end of again, women are not giving the men, like they're providing.
Right.
Hey, that's a big chunk that you're
Oh,
not
it
worried
is.
about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that kind of lines
Yes.
up what school district they go to,
Yeah.
Yes.
who their surroundings
Yeah.
are,
Yes.
how they're eating. Like, are they eating McDonald's on the dollar menu back in the day? Or
Yes.
like, because I know that's a man.
Where are you having
Oh,
to
I-
say like, oh, we got to wait till we get the check?
Yeah, you know what I
like,
mean?
yes.
You're
you can
like-
get it next time.
Dad
Yeah,
will
like-
tell you on Thursday, Mom, on Thursday, Pop, because he knows what that means. Like dad, and I never hid it. I wanted Seth to know your dad does contribute because we were not benefited that growing up. So for me, oh, absolutely not. Dad's check hits on Thursday.
I don't know. If you want to say you're a single mom, then don't collect no check, no nothing. Then you're gonna see the difference on when that man does not.
I didn't
help you at
collect
all.
checks
So,
from
I guess-
my daughter's dad, but I made sure I was collecting a check.
Well, it sounds like it's based on your personal experience and how you feel
Well, let me
about
give
it.
you
Yeah.
let me give you an example.
Based on your
Back in
personal experience on what you
No, no,
think
no.
it is.
Back in 19 hold on, back in 1940 something,
Uh-oh.
this woman had a child, not married, and the father was not around, by herself.
You talking about grandma?
Well,
Ooh.
will you let
Get
me?
around grandma. Oh,
So my grandma never once felt sorry for herself, and this has been told by my grandpa who married her with a kid. Which Seth finds it funny that
Your grandma that lives with you right
my
now?
grandmother has
Oh,
dementia now.
loosey-goosey over there.
So, and she worked, and she had a kid, and she was still like, "Oh no, I'm not dating that guy, or I'm not doing this." And then here comes my grandma. She's like, "Oh, you come here, I want you." She was
My
a
poor
single
grandma.
parent. She raised that kid for the first 2 years, I think,
I
of
was
her
like,
life.
easy. It was a very short time.
Yeah, by herself. And then my grandpa married her and made sure she was never a single parent. And this is in 1940 something. Her parents let her stay at home, so they didn't kick her out. They didn't abandon her. They didn't do any of that shit, right? That was a single woman. That was a single mom. She wasn't for long, like you said. So I think like she was a strong woman. She didn't cry like, oh, I have this kid. I can't figure it out back then. She worked at the canneries. She did everything before my grandpa came. She was a strong woman, and I think that's kind of what we've all seen as as time went on. So for us personally, not in the Webster's dictionary,
It's because he's trying to be fighting out like all like
Politically correct.
No,
Yeah.
and I don't know why you guys are associating single mom with weakness. And it's like,
no,
oh,
we're not comparing.
Oh, no,
well,
I
I keep hearing you say. I keep
Oh,
hearing
no,
you guys
that's me.
say-
My bad. I'm referring to people that I've come across.
women.
Yeah, I keep
Yeah.
hearing
They're-
you say,
I
"Oh,
recall
if a woman she's weak or she's complaining that they were strong." It's not about being weak. It's about if you're a single parent, if you're the one primarily taking care of the kid, you're a single parent.
No, it has a lot to do
it has
with
nothing to do
our
with being
upbringing
strong.
too.
It has nothing to do with being strong
Man,
or
this
weak.
guy sounds
Though.
like he's being triggered over here.
I know.
No,
It's not about strong or
I'm
weak. Is all I'm saying.
No, Solomon, the reason why I was saying that is because me listening to Alina and Angel,
Mhm.
and then also referring back to my own experiences, I'm looking back at it as we were raised in an era where I feel like that is what you had to do is be strong. And now
Today.
we're talking about, being in a softer world and everyone being softer and having to cushion everything for everyone. There is a lot of weakness. I'm not saying that single moms are weak because they say I'm a single mom or I'm a single parent. I was referring to some of the women that I have come across that use that to their benefit of like, oh, well, you have a
As an
man.
excuse.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
I get
So
that.
I stand corrected. That's what I meant. That's what I
And
meant.
let me make this.
I didn't mean everybody.
Yeah.
And don't think that I haven't called Trina or my sister and said, these damn kids, right? Like, we still have that moment of like frustration or whatever it is, right?
Of
Like,
course.
but I also will say this, and everyone's going to hate me. One, I find joy in my kids. I just do. I'm the mom that I've always wanted, and I felt that I didn't have, right?
Right.
But two, Seth and I had this conversation today. At some point after Seth, there was a discussion about another kid. Absolutely not, because I knew I was going to be, quote unquote, a single mom with 2 kids, right? And I didn't want that. I didn't want to have 3 kids or 4 kids. So guess what I did? I stopped having kids because I knew there's only so many kids I could afford, and I wanted to give them what I didn't have, what I thought I needed, what I thought I deserved. So I look at women who have a lot of kids and the dads are not around. At some point, you have to take responsibility for yourself and say, I chose this life. I chose to have these kids from 4 or 5 men, and the dads aren't here. You have to own your
should
shit.
You kind of got to be better at your picker after like 2 or 3.
Mom said it. Don't be mad if your picker ain't
Yeah,
working.
you
And my picker's
gotta
broke.
be- you
So
gotta
I
be
stopped
better.
I stopped after Seth because apparently I knew I don't know how to pick.
You gotta like even look. I was young as shit. Like, well, I had my kid at 16, and my other kid, my other sons from the same dad. They're 10 years apart. Because I was like, and I was 16, right? And I was really stupid. Like, and I was like, oh no, I'm not. And I got pregnant like after, and I was like, oh no, I'm not.
And
I'm
she
not
only
ready.
had.
I'm not ready for another kid. Like this is not gonna work out. Like, and I think it's crazy that women are older and they keep getting older and then
Keep
they,
having kids.
They keep having kids or being in love over and over again. It's like,
Is it really
how
that?
did you not read it or how did you not see it? Like, and my kids are from the same dad. They're 10 years apart, but I knew, hey, neither one of us are gonna stop what we're doing right now. So
Right.
we're not having like, and he wanted to have a whole football team. And I was like, I'm not,
and you would have been here with the whole football
yeah,
team.
like I was like, I'm not doing that. I want to live my life. You know what I mean? Like,
She only had
and I
Gia
tell
to
my
piss me off.
I tell my sons like the same thing. Like, don't have no kids. Like, weigh these bitches out. Like, you find out who they are. You'll see
Yeah.
in time things will come out. And sometimes you have a better time with that person if you didn't have kids. Because kids change everything.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
we're off on a
I think
tangent
it's
though.
crazy when women meet a man after 2 years and then boom, have another kid, and then boom, have another. Girl, when were you gonna get smart? When were you gonna start using logic? I know logic is real hard for women because they go off emotions, but after a while, when you're fucked, right? Like you're stuck because, right, I'm a single mom, so you're stuck, like, and you see, like, oh man, like, because then you got to watch all. It don't make no sense to me.
Well, it's all
The math's not mathing.
Yeah, the math's not
make
mathing.
it
but
make
it's not
sense.
it's
Make
not
it make
about
sense.
it's not about the number of kids you have. I mean, because if you ultimately take responsibility to like you guys have, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, that's the
What
whole
doesn't
point.
matter?
But
This guy.
yeah, it doesn't matter. I
What
mean,
doesn't matter?
how many kids you have?
Yeah, because
Fuck yeah, it matters.
if I had 4 kids,
Yeah, no.
Right.
if I had 4 kids, Seth and Loran would not have the life that I was able to provide for him because I got 2 other ones that they're gonna now
Okay,
share
but
everything.
that has nothing to do with being a single parent. We're talking about a single parent. So I don't want to go off on a tangent with like how many people have kids or whatever. I'm just giving an example, and the point of that I was
I
making.
didn't realize
with
this
my-
was your podcast. Okay,
Well,
go on, finish. I'm listening.
The point I was making with my sister was that
Oh,
she considers herself a single parent. Is all I'm saying. Whether she got help or didn't get help, and she has a very good job as well. So she's taking care of her kids, and her kids are all doing very well.
yeah.
But she considers herself a single parent. So that's ultimately all I'm saying is I think it depends on how you look at it and what your personal experience has been.
Yeah.
But I think overall, the term single parent applies to both groups, people who get support and people who don't, as long as you're a single parent in the household. That's all I'm saying.
Well, all I'm saying is I disagree.
Okay.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll end it now because I guess we're done, and that's it. So please follow us on TikTok, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and until next time, thank you.